Hey everybody, it's Tammy with Spot On Psychic Readings, and I wanted to come in and do this video right away because I had a dream this morning, and I'm going to title this, You're in a Love Triangle, and you may not even know it, or you were in one and may not even know it. So the way I got this download was I had a dream that I was in your person's dream, and this could be your person now or your previous person, okay? So as I always say, take it as it resonates, and if it doesn't fit, doesn't fit. It's not your reading. This is for somebody specific, okay? So don't get all worried and try to make this fit if it's not your picture, okay? You'll know. Use your intuition. You have good intuition. So I had this dream this morning, and what I was getting was sort of your person's consciousness. I was almost like a bystander watching this dream of whoever this was and you, okay? It's really hard to explain because it's a collective dream and it's also an individual dream. So anyway, let me just tell you what it was. So I saw two people very much in love sitting next to on either a riverbank or creek bank or maybe the edge of a lake, because the water was really pretty and sparkling, right? And this dream was so fifth dimensional. I mean, it was like so beautiful. It was so full of love. And I could, as an empath in the dream, I was feeling all this love being exchanged between the two of you. And your person was like gazing into your eyes and having all this love was exchanged, like this cycle of giving and receiving and giving and receiving, like from the heart center over and over and over, this flow of love. And it was just really magical and beautiful. And I saw the two of you sharing some kind of beverage. I don't know, it was either coffee or a wine glass. It sort of went back and forth. And it was really important though. So it must have been something important you all did, in real life, not just in this dream. The other thing about this dream is that it wasn't like a dream. It was more like a visit. It was very astral, if you know what I mean. Sometimes dreams are dreams, and sometimes they're very astral, like you're in that fourth dimension astral plane, and you kind of you might go to repeat places or places that you knew, and then the place looks different in astral, if you know what I mean. Like your house, the way your house looks now in 3D and what it looks like when you dream about it are two different things, but it's consistent, if you know what I mean. And that's how this dream felt, was astral, very astral-like, and fifth dimensional as well. So 4D, 5D, not 3D, because it was just so magical. And because it was so magical, then what I saw your person wake up. It was really weird. I've never had a dream where I plugged into somebody else's dream like this. It was really strange. So what I saw was your person woke up next to their third party. They may have by now married that third party that they had a love affair with, for some of you. And for some of you, this could be going on real time, okay? But I saw your person with all this love for you waking up next to their third party and looked over, and all of a sudden the dream went from beautiful and sparkly and magical to me seeing everything just went dark. It just was so dark and foggy and stormy looking. And when your person looks over at their new person, their third party, the third party, there was total repulsion going on. Like they were completely repulsed by this person. Because for one thing, they had gone from 5D back to 3D, which is a shock to begin with, right? But when they looked over, they realized all that love they were feeling for you was not there for the new person. It was like a realization kind of dream. It was like one of those things where they had to really face the music. You know what I mean? And I feel like it was so strong, like such a jolt coming out of that beautiful dream with you and back to the reality, this 3D reality of third party and what have I done kind of feeling from your person, that they pulled back in. They, like visibly looked worried. And I could hear the third party person saying to your person, what's the matter? What's wrong? What are you thinking about? That kind of thing. And I could see your person pulling back at that point and trying to stuff their feelings and reel it all in, reel back, pull back, whoa, alert, SOS, And it started a big fight. Because then what I was getting was a lot of the third party energies out there were then feeling very threatened, like, have you been in contact with them? Meaning did you call them? Are you going to go back to them? It started this whole roll of trust issues that have been there from the beginning. And it brought all this up, okay? It started a whole fight about you, and you may or may not have felt that, when you woke up this morning as well. We're on the edge of Mercury retrograde, and or the shadow of Mercury retrograde, which really starts in April. And because of that, Mercury retrograde always brings up stuff from the past, people from the past, and it breaks technology. I've tried to do this video a couple of times now. I am crossing my fingers that it works, because this is like my third try at doing this, and the technology kept breaking. So it's very Mercury retrograde driven at this time, which means this is going to be a strong one. If I'm feeling it this soon into Mercury retrograde, I know it's going to be a difficult one. I think you can just watch out right now for things to break and miscommunications and people from the past showing up again. Okay? So where I'm going with all of this is your person doesn't have any closure about the relationship. I feel like they got into this third party situation with no intentions of leaving you. It's just fun, whatever, and I feel like it had such a traumatic ending. There's no reparation for this. I mean, I'm not saying they're coming back. This reading is not about reconciliation. This reading is about closure, okay? And trying to understand some of the missing pieces or confusion that you may have felt, or you may be currently going through this, depending, this is a collective reading, so it's going to be a little bit different for everybody. You may have noticed your person almost having personality changes, okay? And you may have seen them like doing things like changing their political stances on things, like their political beliefs, their foundations changing, and you're like, what happened? And they couldn't even explain it, or didn't want to explain why they suddenly had these different views on things. You may have seen your person going in and getting like haircuts more regularly, or different hairstyles. You may have checked your person's phone and seen that all the call history had mysteriously disappeared and was never there every time you checked. Text messages, same thing, gone, no text messages. You may have noticed your person going to the dentist more often, that kind of thing, getting their teeth cleaned more often, things like that. This is what I was picking up for the collective. There was just a lot of things. They may have gotten a different car. They may have suddenly, instead of liking blue, they liked red, for instance, okay? Everything was different. And I also get something about they were buying more clothes, or buying small items like gloves or rings or things like that, supposedly for themselves. And now they were gifts, from third party. And these things are like infiltrating into your home and your energy and your relationship. And I was picking up that your third party, the third party, not yours, but your person's third party, their friends were like ganging up, bullying you, and you didn't even know it. A lot of you didn't know any of this, and you may not know it now, but you may have been cyber stalked by this group of friends from this third party. And I feel like they were sending you such bad energy, especially if you were on any sort of a public platform of any sort. I just get that they were really stalking you, leaving mean comments, sending you this constant barrage of bad energy, and also instigating fights with you and your person. Like, you may have noticed a lot more fights, and your person would start these fights with you out of the blue, and you didn't even know where they were coming from. And now it's coming from that. When your person woke up, back to the dream, when your person woke up from this dream, all they can do is think about you, okay? And again, Mercury retrograde is driving a lot of memories. And some of the memories that I was picking up that your person is thinking about is like camping trips. I kept seeing a tent. I kept seeing campgrounds. I was seeing creeks and water. That was a big part of it. I was seeing shared pets and dogs in a campground or in a camper and that kind of thing. And certain music. I feel like certain music keeps coming up. It's going to get stronger. We're not even in Mercury retrograde at the time I'm making this video. It's going to get worse, okay? I'm just saying. And I know your person's going to start sending you a lot of messages. Now, I'm not saying they're going to pick up the phone and call you, but I am saying that you're going to be getting messages through spirit from them, okay? Because that's how it works. That's how energy works. They don't have to show up in person to send you a message. You can be receiving like psychic messages from them. And what you might be seeing is, for instance, the songs, like I mentioned, you might see their car that they drove when the two of you were together. Not that particular car though. You might be seeing a car exactly like it, like you come out of the grocery store and it's parked right next to you, or you pull up next to a stoplight, they're right next to you, but it's a different car, but it's like, oh, looks just like, person's car. You might be seeing, if you had a special number, like maybe you had a PIN number you shared or something like that, you might be seeing that number come up all the time, everywhere you look, in any kind of a gauge or a clock or wherever. I feel like you're going to start seeing that number if you're getting messages from your person. And it means your person's thinking about you. It's like they can't get you out of their head, especially since that dream connection. Because again, it wasn't just a dream, it was a connection, a heart connection. And with a soulmate relationship like this was for so many of you, it doesn't just go away. It lives on. It lives on in the energy of it. So it's not living on in the third dimension of everything being physical, but it lives on in the energy because it happened, because there was love, there was true love there. And that love lives on, I sound like I'm from the movie The Titanic, it goes on, love goes on. What is that song? You know what I'm talking about? But it's true. I mean, it keeps going on. It has a life of its own. You two put that love out there together, and it didn't just disappear because third party came in and wanted it. When this person lost you, they also lost themselves, and they didn't even mean to lose you, first of all. I don't feel like they meant to get as involved with third party as they did. And because there was a tragic ending, there was kind of no going back on this, and now it is what it is. There they are. But I get that when they had that dream, they were reminded of who they were when they were with you, okay? And it's like they miss that. They not only miss you, but they miss themselves. It's like this thing you hear about people, oh, I'm looking for myself, or, I'm trying to find myself. You hear people say that sometimes. And I feel like this could be your person going, I'm trying to find myself. And that dream helped them start to find themselves. They lost a big part of themselves, because they weren't with you anymore, because you were a big part of who they were, and vice versa, okay? So it was like this big gap, this big chasm has been created there, and third party can't fill it. It's like a soul contract is broken. Their lives have changed. It was like such a reality check, and I see them seeking closure. And in seeking that closure, because they never had any closure, they just sort of moved on, they didn't have any closure with you. And you may not have had the closure. And I feel like they are seeking it, okay? And in seeking that, their energy is going to come to you. So I would expect dreams, or all the stuff I mentioned before, dreams, numbers, cars, songs, all kinds of things. There's all kinds of ways that the energy can move and bring you a message, okay? So I'm not saying there's reconciliation here. I'm not saying there's reparations here, okay? I'm just saying there is, the energy is seeking closure, so everybody can sort of move forward. And I was also hearing forgiveness, which is always a hard one. That doesn't mean that it was okay what your person did or how this went, but it does mean you let go of it. So I would just think about that. No lectures here from me. It's just I'm hearing that from spirit right now, that you might have from this video that I'm doing, and I hope so. From this video that I'm doing, I hope maybe you'll have even a moment of forgiveness and closure, okay? You know, I also wanted to add a couple of other things. I feel like your person is having a whole lot of regrets about the way things went. I felt when they woke up from that dream, there was major regret when they looked over with repulsion at their new person. You know, it's like they'd had this dream about you and how the two of you had been together, and then suddenly they woke up to third party who they really had never had any intentions of being with. It was a shock. It was a smack in the face to them, and they're, you know, a lot of this energy you're going to be feeling coming through to you is from their regrets of how things went. And some of it was immaturity. Whether they were actually young, you know, when the two of you got together, maybe you were both really young. And some of it was just lack of experience, lack of knowledge, lack of life experience, that kind of thing. No good advice, no good role models, you know, that kind of thing is some of it. It was bad advice from friends or people they worked with, like coworkers, I feel like were sort of encouraging this affair. I feel like there were people, there were friends, they were going, oh, you should go have some fun, you know, let loose a little bit, have some fun. I feel like there was that sort of thing, and there was encouragement, you know, there was encouragement, definitely, I'm picking up from coworkers and friends. And the other thing was third party had friends, and I may have mentioned this earlier, but third party's friends were ganging up on you and sending even as much as spell work. In some cases, they were messing around with spells, not professional spells. They were just like reading books they picked up at the bookstore and go, oh, let's try this. Let's try one of those love spells, you know, let's try one of those breakup spells and see if we could just divide, you know, that person and their person, you know, divide that soulmate union. And it may have had an effect. I mean, for some of you, it definitely did have an effect because your person was impressionable, and it, you know, it sent some real negative energy into your home that you didn't even know about, or you may not know about. You may need to know about this now, okay? Some of this for you all goes way back. I mean, I feel like some of this goes back into even the 70s and the 80s with this relationship I'm looking at, and it may have just broken up like yesterday, you know, as an example. Soulmate relationships go on for a very long time. You may have been very young when you got involved in this, and this person was having this dream about the two of you when you were very young. It's interesting. I've heard somebody else recently shared with me that they had had a dream about seeing someone in their dream who is older now, but they were super young in the dream, you know, back looking like they were in their 20s again. So this 5D thing is happening. I mean, we know it's coming and going, the fifth dimension. You know, we get in these glimpses of it in dreams, or sometimes you'll be driving down the road, just go around a curve, and suddenly you're in this beautiful, different feeling energy. And that's a glimpse of 5D. And then you go around another curve and you're back to 3D. You know, but it feels different. And I know some of you are feeling that. But I think it shocked your person when they got into that fifth dimension dream with you. And you were both younger, and you were back to the way you were when you made the soul contract. Okay? So anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Again, I'm not promising any sort of reparation or reconciliation here. I'm just saying I hope this helped you with closure. Okay? And I wanted to share with you because the guides do give me downloads, and this was a download for you guys. So let me know in the comments. Please give it a like. Thanks for supporting my channel. Bye.